We often think of the Paladin as the ultimate protector, the one who spends every waking moment shielding the outside world. But in this state, he leaves his own internal boundaries completely unguarded. This archetypal martyr operates on a specific logic, the belief that true goodness requires total self-erasure. To him, being a righteous person means treating every personal limit as a betrayal of his duty. When an individual functions this way, the world begins to extract from them. It takes their energy, their focus, and their peace, piece by piece, until the well runs dry. This path leads to a state of unbeing. The identity of the protector vanishes, replaced by a hollow shell that exists only to endure the next blow. At this depth of exhaustion, effort is no longer the answer. The Paladin cannot fight his way out of this deficit. He must stop looking outward and finally turn toward the shadows within. Protecting others from a state of total depletion is a systemic failure in waiting. Eventually, the hollow vessel simply collapses under the weight of its own emptiness. The journey to recovery begins with the descent. This is a 6-part internal trial, where the individual must confront their own psychological distortions and unlearn the habits of the martyr. To restore balance, the Paladin refuses the jagged weight of shame and guilt. Facing fear and anger, he lets the storm pass through him, remaining centered. Finally, he sheds illusions of desire and pride, leaving a clean, straight line of alignment with his truth. Mastering these internal distortions is the mandatory first step. You cannot hope to command the world around you until you have command of your own mind. Between the internal work and the external application lies the breath between worlds. This period of total stillness bridges the newly forged self. In this vacuum, the Paladin performs a simple, profound task. He remembers his own name and his inherent worth, separate from any service he provides to others. This intentional rest is not a delay. It is the structural foundation required to sustain a lifetime of leadership without breaking. Now the process moves into the ascent. The world returns with its tangible pressures and demands, but it meets a Paladin whose internal state has fundamentally changed. The stability of the ascent is a result of the work done in the descent. Because he conquered internal anger, his external pursuit of justice is now guided by steady fairness rather than a desire for retribution. This internal work also transforms how he approaches the suffering of others. Because he released the weight of his own past guilt, he no longer feels compelled to absorb the pain of those he heals. He offers presence without self-erasure. In the final test, the world offers him power and status. But having already dismantled his pride during the descent, he accepts the weight of the crown only to serve the truth, not his own ego. External virtues like courage and temperance are fragile until they are anchored in this mastered internal state. Look at the difference in the Paladin now. He has transitioned from a depleted, shattered weapon into a self-possessed, whole leader. This is what we call sovereignty, a state where psychological wholeness naturally generates outward order. Any attempt to bring peace or justice to the world is doomed to fail if the person leading that charge is secretly at war with themselves. The most effective way to serve others is to stop surrendering pieces of yourself. Reclaiming your personal coherence is where real impact begins. True strength does not come from endless sacrifice. It comes from the unshakable alignment of knowing exactly who you are.